just start by giving us your sort of appraisal of the season so far? How's it gone from your point of view?
Oh yeah, I think it's been pretty good to be fair. In our Super League matches, I think the first four games were two from two, or two from four. No wins at home yet, so got to work on that. But yeah, I think we've done pretty good for a new team. We're all gelling together real well. And everyone just seems happy. Everyone and around the club, not just the players. I think it's just a buzz this year. It's just great to see.
It must be a real feel-good factor at the moment. Obviously, things were going really well last year. How different is it to last year? Is it even more positive?
Yeah, I think the players that we brought in have just jumped on a board and they're all feeling that way. We all got the same mindset, same goals, as a team collectively. So yeah, it's a real good buzz at the moment.
It's your first taste of Super League as well. How have you found it? Because obviously, I bet you were wondering what it was going to be like. You've now had you've a few games in. What's been the difference, and how have you found it?
I think the quality of player change is a massive step up. I mean, championship you're still getting battered every week, and that like they still know how to tackle and run the ball. So the physicality is still the same, but I think it's just the quality of player we're up against every week. And the speed.
So last year, maybe you could have had a playoff or something like that, but not this year.
Yeah, you get picked out. All these players are so smart. They see if you're trying to rest, if you're not fit enough, they're just going to attack you, and you can't let the team down by being unfit or knocking off, as we say.
Knocking off. How happy have you been with your own sort of contributions this year, Caleb?
I think I'm slowly finding form. I think slow start. Uh, didn't really know what to expect these first four games, but I'm pretty happy with myself. Still heaps to learn and get better with the.
Last year, I think predominantly you came off the bench, didn't you? It's been different
Yep.
this year, and I know that there's been injuries and things like that. But how have you found that? Have you found that better for you, or is it something you've had to work on, or get a different sort of mindset?
You kind of don't get time because when Carl was injured, I think it was the captain's run. I think it was just a Lips. Oh well, Caleb, you're up. You're starting. You don't get time to think. It's just whatever the team needs at the time. You're just willing to do, and I think that's what's so good with our group. No matter where we're playing, um, even if you're not making a 17, because when everyone's back, it's a hard team to crack. I think everyone's just so happy for each other, uh, all around the park.
How far do you think you were away from doing your first 80 minutes, like Big Mikey?
I don't know. Might collapse before I get there, but yeah, Big Mike is a beast. It's been real good to have him, especially over this period where we've had so many injuries. A player like that who can play 80 minutes and his first run's just going to be as good as his last run. It's just unbelievable.
Have you asked him how he does it?
Nah, I really should though, but you can tell by his physique he trains very hard. So
It's got to be more than just that, though, isn't it? Is
yeah,
is there, is there a psychological angle to it as well?
yeah. And I think just all of his experience. He's been in the game so long at such a high level. One of the best players in the comp. Yeah, he's just built for it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he is. Challenge Cup. What did you make of the draw?
I'm not kind of that next up mentality. It's just another team we're gonna play. Like we got nothing to fear this year as a team. Um, Not many teams know a lot about us as a forward pack as players. We've got a lot of young players, a lot of unknown players, and I think it's like we got that underdog mentality that I kind of like. I kind of enjoy having. It's kind of like a boost in our backpack when we do face these big name teams like the Leopards, who we do face next round. Like they're flying, but all odds are against us, so we've got nothing to lose, and our backs against the wall, so we'll perform
You've got them twice as well, haven't you? Because you've got them in
back to back. Yeah, I don't
Super League
understand how that works, but
back to back. Well, it's just luck. It's just coincidence, isn't it? No one's.
yeah,
It's not supposed to be like that. Home Super League. How much do you want that victory at home?
yeah. We owe the fans so much. They were with us all last year. They haven't seen their team do too well in Super League the last couple of years they were in there. Yeah, we just owe them so much. I mean, we played at Huddersfield last week. All you could hear was their chants. They're like the 14th player on the field at the times. Like when we're doing it tough, we hear their chant and everything. It just picks us all up.
Yeah. What about Hull this week? What are you expecting from them?
Great game. Yeah, they got a really good team. Got a good new coach in this year. The four pack is going to be a good battle in the middle. I know they got John Asiata, Herman Esse. Liam Knight comes off the bench. Yeah, it's going to be a great game all over the field.
Can I mention your tries? Because you scored a hat trick against Gould. You scored your first Super League try in the Warrington game, or the last Super League game. Have you been fairly prolific? And this is only in 6 games, I think. Have you been prolific
No, I
throughout your
haven't.
career?
Recent years, I haven't. I don't
What's the
even.
change then? What's happened?
Well, when you get quality players playing around you doing all the work, and I just get to score the easy 1 meter tries, it's quite nice to be fair. Starting to feel like a winger, scoring nice easy tries and get all the praise for it.
You've been too modest. What's the furthest you've gone for a try in your career?
2 meters maybe? I don't know. I don't score many long range tries.
Two meters, did you say?
Yeah, probably.
I think you've got a gallop in you. Just before I pass you on, last year when I spoke to you, you tipped us up about the name change,
Yep.
which we now see on the team sheet. Can you just give us the backstory to that again, and how much pride do you take from seeing that full name on the team sheet these days?
Oh yeah, it's massive. So my name when I first came over here was just Willie. But now I've integrated the Hamlin into it because my mum's parents, so my mum's last name is Hamlin, and they didn't have too many boys left on that side of the family. So me and my brother decided to carry the name and just try to carry it on for as long as we can. So now it's Caleb Hamlin Willie, and my brother's Braden Hamlin Willie. So yeah, it's I think my mum was talking to some of our relatives who live down in London, and they just said seeing their last name in Super League's crazy, and it's a buzz.
Well, thank you. Can we just start with the bad news first of all? Could you just give us a rundown on the injured players, please?
Yeah, well, Matty Staunton's yeah, pretty tough one. He's got a bad knee injury, cartilage damage, which needs an operation, so he's going to be out for uh, well, anything up to 4 months really, which is he started the season really well, so that's a tough one from him. Max Jowett has had a scan. Doesn't look like it's anything major. So we're hopefully he's not going to be too long. But really just treating the symptom rather than the scan. There's nothing much on that. So we'll wait and see how he is when he comes out of the boat. I think he's in that for a week, and then we're going to check on him. Isaiah Van Ganaar's had a scan and waiting results on that. So yeah, really tough one for Matty Staunton, who started the season so well, and yeah, difficult one. But look, rugby league and it's a crazy game, so sometimes this happens, and whilst it's disappointing for us and him, it gives an opportunity to somebody else.
Is there a bit of relief regarding Max insofar as it seems it's not as bad as it could have been?
Yeah, it looks that way. Obviously, landed pretty awkward. He took a high ball really well, and then lands awkward on his right leg. So uh, I'm hopeful he's going to come out of it pretty quick. He's obviously been an important player for us. But that again gives an opportunity for Josh Rock to come in and around the team and see how good he can be. Obviously, did a great job at London last year, and the one game he's played for us, he was pretty good playing on the wing. So looking forward to see what he can do.
You said a couple of weeks ago that those selection headaches were just around the corner with Cam Scott and Kai Rodwell and Josh Griffin back in the side. What does it mean to you to have those guys back in the group and back available again?
Yeah, with three out, three in, three out. So yeah, it makes it the decisions. There's still a few decisions to be made there on selection, but having those guys available is really pleasing based on what's happening to us, especially. So yeah, looking forward to seeing those guys play.
So, how tough has it been to settle on a side this week?
Yeah, pretty difficult. I think obviously there's a few changes in there, and we've had a few players who haven't been playing as well. So you just got to make a few changes, give opportunities to some players. Some of them are enforced. But we'll have a pretty good side going out there. So I just think we've said all the way through that next up, who comes in next does a pretty good job. We're confident that we've got a squad that can handle the rigors of Super League, and that includes injuries, obviously. So we've had our fair share, I'd have to say. But I think the boys are doing a pretty good job in terms of competing every week. And we know this will be a pretty stiff challenge. Everybody's talking about Hull at the moment and what they're doing. And it was, you see how good they were last week. Watched the last three games, and they've been pretty good. They had a real battling draw against Lee, who were a good side, and beat Wigan, beat Huddersfield right at the death. So yeah, it's they're a good team. Who they've obviously improved significantly, and they'll be a real challenge for us.
What is it? Is it? Are they doing anything different, or is it just down to the different personnel?
Oh, well, they could have easily folded last week, I think, and the league game as well. They fought back from a really tough position and scored right at the death. So they're much more durable than they have been in recent past. They've signed quite. I think they've signed even more new players than us. So it's a complete rebuild, really. And in I think Herman SCSA, Caesar and Asiata. Um, they're really dangerous players who play a certain way that puts pressure on opposition teams. They've shown that they're scoring points and the dangerous attacking team. So uh, I think more than anything, I'd say they just look more durable. They look like they don't fold even if they get behind. They're still hanging in there, and that's great to have that in a team.
You've still not got that first home Super League victory. What would it mean to you to get that this week?
Well, everybody talks about home form being important. I mean, we were handed a pretty stiff start, to be honest. That was pretty tough. That, but yeah, it's important. I think you don't want to get hung up about it. I think that's important. Otherwise, it just creates anxiety. But your home form is obviously crucial. Every sports team would say that. That you want to be winning at home. It's where most of your fans watch you play. Our away fans have been incredible, but obviously at home we want to do well. So yeah, it's important. I think we didn't really play that great against Saints. Thought we were excellent against Hull KI in a really tough game. But here we are. We're here. We're ready for it. We know it'll be another tough challenge. I think that's you don't want it to be easy. Yeah, I don't think that creates a great competition. So yeah, we know we need to be good to win, and our aim is to be really good on Friday night.
Caleb was just talking about the feel good factor among the squad and how tight the group is. And given how positive things were yet last year, he was saying it's even more positive this year. How have you detected the change, and what do you put that down to?
Well, I don't know. I think we started with a foundation last year, and I think obviously you feel like you're all right in the championship, but it's not the top league, is it? So then you get into Super League, and I feel like we've shown that we can compete, and I think the boys are getting confidence from that. And we're fighting different sort of battles. Last week we were down at half time, and we'd lost key players, and we had to rejig a fair bit, and that just coming through those kind of situations can give you strength, which sort of builds a little bit more unity and belief in what you're doing. So I think it's being up in Super League and showing that we can match it with the best teams. I think we've proved that so far. The challenge in Super League is being able to do it over how many rounds there are with Challenge Cup in there as well. So yeah, we know we've got a way to go, and we're learning about ourselves all the time. But yeah, we certainly have a really positive environment where everybody enjoys being a part and everybody's working hard and enjoying each other's company as well. So um, and we have we're pretty serious at times, but we have a good bit of banter as well. So it's a good mix.
Is there anyone in particular that gives you a bit of stick, banter wise?
Oh, Uddy's the one who's sort of
What a surprise.
yeah, he's the one who's got a fair bit about him. To be honest, there's a few others as well, but in the main, he's the one who he's confident enough to take anybody on.
Just lastly for me, you'll be sick of the sight of Lee over the next couple of weeks. What were your thoughts on the Challenge Cup quarter-final draw?
Yeah, a tough draw, but we're at home, so I mean it's one of those sod's law situations where we play them the week before as well. You know, it happens so many times. I've had it so many times over my coaching career. But yeah, tough draw. It is what it is, and you know, if you're in a quarter final, you know it's going to be tough. Really, I think being at home is as good as you can ask for. And then yeah, you got an opportunity to get to a semi-final. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. But you know, first and foremost, we've got a couple of games before that, and like you say, we want to get our first home win and show that we can be consistent. Won our last two. Yeah, I think consistency now is something that we'll be striving for. Like I say, I've thought the Saints game we were off, but apart from that, we've been pretty good, to be honest.